Hear me now. So the 5 things I learned from 2025. Number 1, you've got to put yourself first. And the truth of the matter is, I've known this from way before 2025. But at the same time, the more you do it and the more you employ it in your life, then it gets easier, and you start seeing the results as well. So the more I put myself first over the years, the more easier I've been able to do it, and the more easier it's become, the better for my life. So you've got to put yourself first. Some of us are still people pleasing. Some of us don't know how to say no. Remember, yeses are expensive. Yeses can be extremely expensive. And yet some of us are still even, just going with the flow. So during this journey, I've known that I've had to put myself first, because I put other people first in the past, and it's left me depleted. It's left me pouring from an empty cup. So that's a key lesson that I learned from 2025, is to just continue doing that. Because the more I put myself first, the more I get ahead. The more I get ahead is the more my own cup is filled. The more my own cup is filled, then I'm able to give to other people with the outpouring of that cup. Does that make sense? People are meant to get the leftovers. People are meant to get the remnants, I believe it's called, of what is overflowing from your cup. In the Bible it says, my cup overflows. It doesn't say my cup should be depleted. So in 2025, I learned that I had to put myself first more. It's a great lesson. I'm going to continue to do that into 2026. And, can't go wrong. You can't go wrong when you're pouring from a full cup. You can't go wrong. In fact, let me change that. You can't go wrong when you are pouring into others with the leftovers and the remains of your overflowing cup. So that was a great lesson for 2025. Number 2, not everybody can accept your change. And one of the reasons they can't accept it, because people like staying in their comfort zones. People like you to be the way you are so they can have you the way they want. And change is one of those things that can be really offensive, because when you're changing your life now, you may think a certain way, a different way from your friends or your family, and they're not ready to think that way yet. So your change can offend them. This is a really important one. Why? Because when you change, it's for yourself. When I'm changing, it's for me, right? So if people can't accept it, then that's a them problem. Because in my mind, and in your mind maybe, you are changing for a reason. Hopefully not to get worse, you're changing to get better. So imagine that. You say you're changing, you're starting to demonstrate change now, and then all of a sudden, people can't accept it. So that means that they don't want you to get better then. Again, that's yet another sign that, it's something that you need to do more of. And it even gets worse, because I honestly think some people will just be happy with you or myself just staying the same forever. Not everybody can accept change. And this one's a difficult one. Why? Because if I'm changing and you're changing, let's say, and people can't accept that, then in my mind, it's a them problem. Why? Because we should be changing for the better, right? I don't really hear someone say, oh, I want to change but get worse. So 9 times out of 10, people change because they want to get better. But then somebody comes along and you can see, or I can see, that they not really accepting that change. They're trying to go against that change. They'll be happy for you to remain the same. Why would they be happy for you to remain the same, or for me to remain the same? Because people like when you're in their comfort zone. Remember, sometimes people need you to function. Remember what I said about pouring from an empty cup? So now, you be drawn into their energy, and they need that. They thrive off that. So when you're changing, people ain't gonna accept it, because in their mind, people are selfish. People mainly think about what's happening for them. And you may be different to that. I'm different from that. I used to always put people first. But my problem was I used to put the wrong people first, right? But at the same time, it's lessons that you learn along the way. And even in 2025, I learned that, not everybody can accept change. Even the people, and it hurts, why? Because even the people you want to see you the most, even the people you want to accept your change the most, You know, this could be anybody, family members, friends, anybody. And they can't accept it. They can't accept it. So they start acting different, or they start acting funny, or they may even call you, you know, and call you out of your name type of thing. You're not the person you portray yourself to be. Or they could say, you know, whatever you're doing is a joke. Not everybody can accept change. Because remember, you know, when you're changing, right, it's because you want to level up. When you're changing, it's because you want to grow. Whether that be spiritually, mentally, physically, it's because you want to do it, right? Now someone comes along and can't accept it, I want you to say the same. I can't have that. Not me personally. I cannot have that. I cannot allow that. And, you know, when changing, you need different environments. When changing, you need to be able to change the terrain. Look, we're in the forest. So, you know, if this terrain is a bit rough and rugged, we go on to smoother terrain. And that may be somebody falling off or out of your life. So not everybody can accept change. And it's on them, really. It's on them. Because maybe they also need to change to, you know, feel better about the situation. But remember, your life is your life. Now I can't help it. If everybody can't accept it, I cannot help that. I can only keep getting better. I can only keep seeking. I can only keep looking. I can only keep trying to find, you know, and who's with it's with it. So not everybody can accept change, guys. And if people can't accept change in your life, then that's them. That's on them. It's their issue. It's not your issue. And I would give you that advice to just keep going. Because, you know, when we change or we're changing, we want to get better, we want to get better, we want to get better, we want to get better. If we then start going back to old thinking and caring about what people think or putting people first, then that change, you know, takes longer or it's slower or it's, you know, you're distracted from it. You know, you don't want to be distracted from doing what you need to do. So this year taught me a lot about just being stubborn within my change, you know, or being stubborn in whatever I'm doing. Why? Because I have to believe in myself so much that I can't allow those thoughts to affect me. And I want that for you as well. Hear me now. Number 3, this is a big one. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Now, a lot of these things I already knew. However, the more you go into, you know, whatever journey you're on, it just becomes more apparent. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that just tells me that lessons are all around. And I already knew that. I already knew the lessons were all around, but I want you to know that as well. If you don't, the lessons are everywhere. Like sometimes we don't see the lessons that are being shown to us because we're too busy looking down at our screens. Like sometimes the thing that we actually asked for could be walking right past us, but we wouldn't know because we were looking down at our screens. So the lessons are everywhere, guys. And I just see more and more beautiful lessons every day. Like, you know, I could just be sitting here, chilling, and all of a sudden I might just see something. And before I know it, like something pops into my head. And it was something that I needed. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I'm a big student. I am a big student of life. I will never stop being a student. You know, some people, yeah, I'm not saying you, but some people don't want to be students. Some people think they know it all. Some people think they got everything all together. And that's not me. Like I always say it, like one of my favorite quotes is, every man is my teacher. And that means every man and woman is my teacher. Like I can learn off anyone. That's one of the most humblest quotes I know. Why? Because that means I make sure I learn lessons from every single body. So that means I treat everybody with respect. That means I give everybody a chance. That means that, you know, I really just operate off of the principle that like nobody's more important than anybody else. Simple as that. As simple as that. I'm not more important than the person that may be giving me knowledge. I don't know, I may not know what they're trying to tell me. So everyone's my teacher. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I love learning lessons. I love learning lessons. And the more I get in tune to that, the more lessons I'm able to learn. I'll say that again. The more I get in tune to that, is the more lessons I'm able to learn. Some of you may be at home watching thinking, hold on a second, how's a 41-year-old man just saying these things now? No, I've known these things. I have known these things. However, in knowing them and seeing them, it always enhances. It always gets bigger. It always becomes more apparent. Sometimes the lesson that you may need or may be looking for is just always there. It's as simple as that. So the more you listen to the universe, the more you listen to yourself, the more you operate with a full cup, you will see that the lessons are everywhere. The lessons are abundant, they're not scarce. It's just sometimes we're distracted from them. Or, sometimes we are depleted, literally. Like depletion is a huge distraction. If you're depleted, you're not full. If you're depleted, your cup's empty. If you're depleted, you can't do much. You know how it goes when you're depleted, man, come on. So, when the student is ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So that tells me that the student may not be ready. At certain times, the student may not be ready because the lessons are always there. But for me, that's a big lesson. It keeps me humble. It helps me to remain a student of life, a student of experiences, a student of goodwill, a student of humbleness. You know what I mean? So when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I'm a student, and I'm always ready, and I want you to be ready as well. Number 4, sadly, is that life is short. Clean living is the key, and ultimately, we've got to be clean-hearted. 2025 definitely taught me that. And if we know one thing since 2020, we know that life seems to be shorter. Life seems to be shorter, sadly. And it just seems like more and more people are losing more and more people. So it seems as if more and more people are dying. And that's tough because people feel it in many different ways. But even around the subject of death, there is a lot to be discussed. Why? Because one thing we always think is that we have an ample amount of time to do anything we want. So when people say life is short, they usually mean life is short, live life to the fullest. Now I can be guilty of this, not living life to the fullest. But 2025 definitely taught me that life is short and we don't want no regrets. I don't want no regrets. I'm sure you don't want no regrets. And, other than that, it's just keeping the main thing the main thing. How many people that didn't wake up today would love to be in the position that we are in? I'm going to say that again. How many people that both you and I know that didn't wake up today that would love to be in the position that we are in? And the answer to that question should give you everything you need to know. So life is short. We can't play with it. We can't joke around with it. We have to be more serious with it. And even in some of the things I do, for example, I ride motorbikes, right? So during the course of 2025, 3 people lost their life that I know, that I've rid with. And, I've even been at an event with someone and they sadly lost their life that same day. Rest in peace, Dels. Imagine that. Like you're at an event with someone and then somebody rides off and they lose their life. Young as well, under 40, and it lets you know that life's short. Like things can happen at any time, and it's just a good lesson to know. It's a good lesson to know because it gives you urgency. It's a good lesson to know because it helps you give thanks. It's a good lesson to learn and know because, it keeps you grateful. And anytime I'm trying to console anybody through death, I always tell them to, have your mourning period. Everybody deserves that. But after that, we want to keep the person alive. We want to embody and take those good qualities from that person and put them in us, and that will keep that person alive. I just wanted to tell you that. So life's short, guys. That's a lesson that we're always learning. That's a lesson that's ever apparent every single day. And, I just want you to take that and know that if you are putting anything off, just do it. If you are worried about something that you haven't done yet, just do it. If there's something you want to learn, do it. If there's something you've always wanted to do but been putting it off, just do it. Just do it. We get one of these. We get one of these. And if we're lucky to live to 80 years old, 80 something, then we done well. But we don't know what's going to happen. So that was a really key lesson that I'm taking from 2025 is that life is short. It's not all doom and gloom. It can also be a real, kick up the arse to just get you into shape and just get you where you need to be. And with life, we have legacy also. What you put out, you surely get back. So, if you are putting out the wrong things, you'll get the wrong things back. If you're putting out good things, you'll get good things back. Life's short, life is precious. As unfortunate it is to be reminded of that, there are also positives in that too. Number 5, that positive is a new gangster. I've been saying that tagline for so long now that people now know it and are starting to say it back to me. And that's an amazing feeling. Remember, whenever you start on a journey or you start out at something, it's only you that has the vision to take you there. It's only you can rely on to be your own biggest cheerleader. It's only you that you can rely on to be, your biggest cheerleader, the main character, and your number one backup nurse. And this is the tagline that's just stuck with me forever. Like, positive is the new gangster. The truth of the matter is I used to get in trouble. The truth of the matter is when I was younger, I used to think I was a little gangster. And it never really got me nowhere. So I got in trouble and I ended up going to prison for a long time. And in prison, I changed my life. But I'd done all these steps. What I'm talking about. I stopped putting people first, right? I made sure I wasn't pouring from an empty cup no more. Yeah, I made sure I changed and didn't worry about who accepted that. And I knew that my situation would get better. So coming home now, when I'm now started this platform, Hear Me Now, and then my brother gave me the tagline. My brother gave me the slogan. My brother gave that to me. And he said, positive's a new gangster, but I ran with it. He told me, this is yours. It was a gift. He gifted it to me. He knew I needed it. And I ran with it. And I've kept saying positive is a new gangster, and I've kept on embodying it. And the more I embody it, the more I know it to be true. It's the truest statement ever. The statement is sound. When they say the statement is sound, it is a sound statement. Why? Because everything we know to be associated with the word gangster is negative. Tell me I'm lying. Everything we've ever known about being a gangster is negative. So now I've come home now. I've now changed my life completely and turned it around. I'm now saying positive is the new gangster. But not only that, every single skill from being a gangster is transferable, which is negative, is transferable to being positive in life. I'll say it again. Every single skill from being a gangster and having that negative associated to it is transferable to being positive. This is why I say positive is the new gangster. This is why I say it so proudly. This is why I say it so loudly, is because it is the truth. It is a sound statement. You see, when someone says it is a sound statement, that's it. It's done. It's been tested. It's been tried. It's battle ready. So positive is a new gangster, guys. And even so, why I even learned that even more in 2025 is because I was able to go to schools and prisons and say this. Imagine that. I just told you I was in prison for 10 years. Don't miss that one. Now, I've got keys to go into a prison. Like when I go in a prison, they give me keys and then I go where I'm going in the prison. So I've gone from being a prisoner locked up, which is negative, right? Stay with me. I've gone from being a prisoner locked up, which is negative, to now a prisoner, an ex-prisoner, an ex-offender, right? An ex-gangster, an ex-wrong'un, whatever you want to call me, to realizing that all skills are transferable, doing the right things, changing, attracting the right people to my life, getting better opportunities to take, my lived experience into prisons and schools and speak to them about positive being a new gangster. I don't speak about that old life because it's negative. Yeah, I take lessons from it, I don't speak about it. So positive being a new gangster is definitely one of those things in 2025 that became more apparent. So much so I even trademarked it. That was a great moment for me. I trademarked Hear Me Now as well. That was a great moment. Owner vibes, you know what I mean? Like, just felt amazing. So 2025 definitely taught me that positive is the new gangster and it will continue to be the new gangster, and on and on and on and on and on we go. If positive is the new gangster, then that takes away from the negative and the old gangster. So if all of those gangsters would realize that positive is a new gangster and take those skills and transfer them into a different life, which a lot of people do. They do it, but this is still happening. And the ones that do it, I commend you. It's not easy to change your life. It's gonna come with a lot of isolation. It's gonna come with a lot of, oh, he's changed, he's not the same no more. It's gonna come with a lot of everything. It comes with a lot of pressure. Right, but positive being a new gangster is definitely something that I learned from 2025, even bolder, even louder, and it's definitely something we're taking into 2026 even more. So there you have it, guys, the 5 lessons I learned in 2025 that I'm also going to carry into 2026. Why? Because life's about improving, It's about learning. It's about being a student at all times. It's about, no matter what happens, to not be pouring from an empty cup. You know, sometimes we may feel that we have to, but, you know, as long as you're right, you got to be right first. Once you're all right, everybody else can be all right. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Help your boy on the way to 1,000 subscribers. Help your boy me. If you like this message, help me on the way to 1,000 subscribers. Hear me now, because who don't hear must feel, and who does hear will heal. Positive is the new gangster. Peace.